This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian.
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side.
This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian.
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today. Previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, that guy, James J., with Kaliko Yachts, who is currently losing to time, but who is on time, the American Scooter Dust.
I'm just dandy. I've got a bowl of chocolate pudding in my underpants.
And it was a good week for Wrestling Wit as we interviewed the man of two minds, Jack Pride, and Nikki Duke. Incredible interviews, very different, as Jack is maybe just hitting the stride of his career in Love Pro Wrestling, was Wrestler of the Year last year for Love Pro Wrestling, and obviously Nikki Duke later today in CCW Capital Championship Wrestling will have one of the biggest matches of her career against Rebecca Scott at Victory. So you should definitely go check out that match when it happens on Title Match Network. And yeah, just a lot of fun. Huh?
In fact, didn't I see the feud coming to a bit of a head on the show's Twitter?
Yeah, we kind of got hit in the crossfire, but they've been at it for since October, I want to say. And we go over that. We talk about Nikki's hatred for Rebecca, how they can't come together, they can't see eye to eye, and that later tonight, she's taking her title and proving that she's the star of the show and not a bitch-ass extra like Rebecca Scott. Her words, not mine. So definitely go into the archives and check that out. It's currently the only interview that Nikki Duke has done. So yeah, you're getting new information on her. This upcoming Tuesday and Wednesday, we have Claudia Solis, just kind of reamping her career, and we talk all things about her career, including working under a mask, becoming the wrestler that she's wanted to be over the last 20 years, and a lot of other great content there. On Wednesday, we have Cody Lane. Incredible interview. If you don't already follow Cody, you should follow Cody. He has a lot of great content on his Instagram. And he actually had a match where he wrestled in a mall. The cops may or may not have been called on this match, and yeah, a lot of great content there that you definitely want to go check out this Wednesday. If you don't believe me, here's some clips right now.
What I've learned is if I think it's funny, I'm just gonna film it, and then if my friends think it's funny, I'm just gonna post it. I just go with a gut instinct. I was like, well, I'm just gonna hurl a large ass soda at my car if someone runs into me. So, and it still gets talked about to this day. And that was in 2020.
Did Eden Price think it was funny that you were robbing him?
He's my Ethan Price is my guinea pig when I come up with ideas. He is if I tell him I gotta rob him for a promo, he'll let me do it. If I gotta push him or slap him, he'll let me do it. So
Any special skills of knowing how to make masses and deal and stuff like that?
I have stitched a couple of outfits together when I was younger, but nothing as gear. When I was younger, I used to pull clothes apart and sew them back in different ways and things that I liked that I wish I would have had when I was like wrestling. And of course, at the time I was just in school, I actually wasn't wrestling, and it was just kind of neat because all those things that I made kind of came to life. But no, I don't. I've tried, and I've bought a sewing kit. I've gone to the extent of buying an actual machine, and I have not the time nor talent to do it. So I was like, you know what? You want something done right, just, pay for it. And yeah, so I've had to go that route. I couldn't do it myself.
That 4-minute YouTube tutorial wasn't going to help you.
No. Nay.
Alright, the week after that...
Hold on.
Huh?
Hold on. I got a one-liner. You know what they say. One ring, or in this case wrestling ring, to rule them all.
Okay.
Because he wrestled in a mall, them, all, the mall, one ring, one wrestling ring. The Lord of the Rings and a wrestling joke. And I hate Lord of the Rings. Come on!
Well, you just... Yeah, that was not your best work there, man.
But not anymore.
And we're being joined by Coleco Yachts. And just finishing up who we have coming up on the show on February 14th, we have Jay Macias. Wednesday the 15th, we have the Basic Bitch Slayer, Ruby Roberts. And on the 22nd, Josh Breezy. So, follow us at Wrestling with E on Twitter for more information on those interviews as it becomes available to us. I think we're done putting ourselves over. No, Scooter?
I'd say so.
Alright. Now it is time for the news. It was not a great day for wrestling. As we lost a legend. We lost Leaping Lenny Powell. The Genius. Randy Savage's little brother by any other name. Honestly, it just sucks. It seems like every time we get past one death, another one comes into the wrestling world. This one really sucks. No, Scooter?
Oh, it. I'm not speaking as Scooter for this. I'm speaking as Scott because I had the great privilege of knowing Lenny Poffo. You hear a lot about wrestlers, and a lot of them will say, "Oh, yeah, I love interacting with the fans." Especially in this age of social media, where they hadn't done it before. Lanny was doing that before social media was even a construct. And Lanny took to social media like a duck to water. And coming from the wrestling background that I do, and being friends, and I'm using air quotes here, with a bunch of them, is an awesome feeling, even if you never interact with them through the platform whatsoever. Lanny was different. Not only was I fortunate enough to be one of his Facebook friends, but not his followers. And I'm sorry, that's a really petty indistinction here between follower and friend. But with famous people, it's a matter of who gets there first. But, you know, it's like, oh, this is awesome. It's the genius. It's the poet laureate of the WWF. All right. Lonnie went out of his way to interact with the fans, especially when he didn't have to. And he will forever in my mind be the most personally profound loss in pro wrestling, only because Lanny took the time out of his schedule to send me personal birthday greetings. Literally. I've never seen any wrestler do that, for an amount of money, let alone free. And I still have the pictures, but all the greetings he sent me included pictures of Randy Savage, looking very, contemplative, and it made these birthdays, these 5, 6 birthdays, just that much more special, because I had the pleasure of knowing him not as more than a wrestler, but as a human being. I mean, we could talk all night about his career. First, Leaping Lanny Poffo, really was when he didn't work for his father. Believe it or not, Randy started wrestling in 1974. He started before Randy. With All South, the NWA, Atlantic Grand Prix, 3 different promotions in the 70s. And then, of course, going to work for his father, Angelo Poffo, in ICW. He was a staple of Mid-South. Continental wrestling, and then the WWF is Leaping Lanny. He'd throw frisbees, and if you caught one and you were able to get to him, he would sign it. No questions asked. And he would usually say, "So great catch, love Leaping Lanny Poffo." And of course, most of us probably know him as the genius, the manager of talent like Mr. Perfect, the Beverly Brothers, and I'm sure there's a couple of others that I'm leaving out. The most interesting statistic about his career, about Lenny's career, is in a time where where Hulk Hogan had lost one match between December 1984, and this moment, which is November 25th, 1989. He has the distinction of being one of two men who defeated Hulk Hogan on WWF television in the 80s.
Which is an incredible feat.
Absolutely. I mean, it was by a count out, and believe it or not, it's the segment that resulted in at least the belt that would be the inspiration for the WWF Hardcore Championship.
Okay.
Because that was the night they destroyed the belt.
Oh yeah, but Mr. Perfect.
And of course, he would make the not odd appearance, but constant appearances on independent circuits. He even competed in a couple of house show matches for the WWF in 1994.
Oh wow.
There was here's something a lot of people probably didn't know. Everybody who remembers Randy Savage and Gorgeous George. Well, what if I told you that Gorgeous George was originally intended to be Lanny Poffo?
Really?
Yep. It was, that's a weird thing, but I can't imagine how wrestling would have turned out had that happened. Oh man. He made a number of appearances for Ring of Honor in 2018. Accompanying Jay Lethal when Jay Lethal was doing Black Machismo.
That's right.
And of course,
I believe that was at All In.
Yep. And of course, he inducted Randy Savage into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2015. Other than that, he had a number of books published. Wrestling with Rhyme. He actually has. He published a book full of limericks that were anti-smoking. He was a constant player on Tony Little's infomercials. He was also a certified credit counselor and motivational speaker. And in 2018, he has his own biographical comic or manga, depending on who you ask, published by Squared Circle Comics, titled "The Genius Lanny Poffo." And of course, over the last number of years, he did what nearly every pro wrestling personality did, and started a podcast, the Genius Cast. that went 20 episodes. Jim Duggan, Terry Funk, Typhoon, Sean Waltman, Jeff Jarrett, Nick Dinsmore, just name a few. It's just I'm gonna miss him as we all are.
Oh, definitely. Kaliko, you have any memories or of the genius Lenny Pavo, or anything you want to share about him?
Man, how you gonna expect me to follow that?
I wasn't planning on speaking so much, but it got away from me again. Next time you start with Kaliko.
But I mean, that pretty much exactly. But you know what's funny about that though is like, even though you name all those accolades, he was more concerned about his brother getting the recognition in the Hall of Fame than he was.
Yep.
And that tells you more about him than anything.
Yeah. Yep.
Hopefully we'll get a genius induction maybe this year at WrestleMania. Considering nobody is on the circuit to be in the Hall of Fame as of right now. But that's another conversation for another time. And of course, thoughts and prayers go out to the family, the friends and family of Lenny, and our deepest condolences as well. Alright, just going to try and, like we always do on Wrestling Wit, get your mind off things, crack a couple jokes, and get into things that happened in the wrestling world this week. We'll be covering all things Royal Rumble a little bit later. But let's start with probably the biggest bit of news that happened this week. Kota Ibushi no longer with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Kaliko, what does this mean?
The Golden Lovers? Question mark? That's the only thing I think of. He is going to be at the what is it?
Bloodsport.
He's at Bloodsport. He's at Mania weekend, so he's open. So the demand's going to be high, but it's just a matter of where. The question is, he's been gone so long. Is he the hot commodity that he was 10 years ago? Not even 10 years ago, like
2 years ago.
8 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. So I think AEW will pick him up. I think because that's the only people that I think have the capability to try to use him.
Unless he goes back to Impact and resumes his gimmick there.
I don't see it.
What was his gimmick in Impact?
I think he was just going by. He was either just going by Ibushi or just Kota. And he was part of like. I think he was with DJZ, Xena Ion in that group.
Wow, I have no recollection of that.
Yeah, it was like he was in TNA at the same time, I believe, as Tony Nese.
Well, what? It just seems like they invested. New Japan did. Invested a lot of time and effort and money into Kota Ibushi. They gave him the double championship. He was the first world heavyweight champion. And personally, I don't think Kota necessarily lived up to the hype that they were putting behind him. And then just it feels like a series of injuries and illnesses just plagued him during that run. Was Kaliko, and we talked about this, was that run just snake bitten, or was Kota just not able to be the face of the company?
By the way, I was confusing Ibushi with Okada. Okada was the one who was in TNA.
He was
Yeah,
Kota.
Okada had the. Yeah, he was Samoa Joe's little sidekick. But it can be both because you know what's crazy because and I'm just follow me here. I'm gonna tie it back. Sami Zayn did an interview where he said that he could be the champion, but he couldn't be the face, right? So, circle that back. Kota Ibushi could be a champion, but he couldn't be the face because the problem was he was just a player in Okada's world. Because think about it, Okada's been the face of New Japan since 2011. You can make the argument.
I kind of feel like he took over for Tana in 14 or 15.
Well, no, because Ibushi was in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Right.
So I think I gotta agree with Kaliko on that one.
But you know, if you look at that time period, which was very wonky, if we're being honest, it was during the pandemic. Okada in that 2 year span was never in the title picture. So I mean, it wasn't like, okay, Kota Ibushi's the champion, but what about Okada? Okada wasn't really doing anything.
But that was by design, and if you couldn't take advantage then, you never would. Because think about it, Jay White took advantage.
True.
Takagi took advantage. Naito took advantage.
Well, I mean, Naito was arguably the biggest name in the company, even ahead of Okada in the minds of the crowd. But it seemed Takagi was the champion. He strung the company on his back because literally nobody else was available to take it from him. And you know, say what you will about the One, he did the best he could with what was given to him. But you know, obviously we're talking about Kota Ibushi, the possibility of him going to AEW. Does Kota Ibushi do well in an AEW? Scooter?
I mean, the only reason he would go is Okada, right? I mean, Omega.
And as far as I know, things didn't necessarily end great between them, personally or professionally. But
I'm sure Kenny wouldn't mind saying bye. That's a double entendre. Would Ibushi get lost in the AEW fold?
considering he doesn't speak English and doesn't really seem to have a desire to speak English, I would imagine so.
I really think he would get lost playing second fiddle to an American. I think he would basically be Takeshita. You could probably interchange Takeshita with Ibushi and no one would realize it.
Well, I mean, Kakesuka, I feel like he's trying to make an effort to learn the language so he can have proper rivalries.
Yes, but Takeshita is playing second fiddle to Bryan Danielson.
Which is odd because he's not even a part of his faction.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see Ibushi do something like the Nightmare Tour, where he goes around facing the opponents he always wanted to face.
Like Cody.
Yeah, exactly like Cody. Exactly like what Cody did. So, I mean, I believe Cody would allow Ibushi to at least wrestle a few matches. One against Danielson. I don't know if I would do Omega Ibushi on American soil. I would probably do Ibushi Hangman.
Ibushi Moxley?
I would think Ibushi Moxley. And I would also think Ibushi Darby. Yeah, and you have to pick one or two lower guys. Ibushi Danhausen or Ibushi Cassidy.
Oh God. Well, I wouldn't put it past them to put him against Cassidy, considering they jobbed out Shibata to Cassidy. So.
And then I would be interested in seeing either Ibushi Pac or Ibushi Penta, or even Ibushi Phoenix.
Any one of those scenarios sounds great.
Yeah.
Or maybe a rehash of the Young Bucks and Ibushi. I don't remember who they wrestled at All In. It was definitely Bandito on the other side.
Wasn't it Almas Russian Bandito or?
It was definitely not Rush.
Rouge. Was it Ethan Page? No. Was it Lethal and Dutt? No.
Oh, well, I guess it don't matter. But I mean, they could rehash that match, considering they didn't have the time that they wanted at that time. I'm not completely sold that Kota should go to AEW, but I mean, the future remains to be seen.
Oh God. Oh God. You know why you can't remember who's in that match?
What?
Because it was Bandito, Phoenix, and Rey Mysterio.
Oh, okay then. Yep. Who could replace Rey Mysterio?
I say, take them all out, put in Death Triangle.
That works too. Alright. Alright, staying on AEW news, they announced that they will, start touring. What are we, in year 4 of AEW, and they finally are doing live events? Is this long overdue, Kaliko?
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't do that the first year before they got on TV, but I mean, the West Coast will get more dates, right? Because I feel like we only get like the Santa Claus schedule, so.
They're planning on airing these, at least a number of these, touring events.
But they also got like too much talent to be just sitting in the back. They got to do something, right?
That means they can do what the WWE used to do, I mean, that's occupied twice as much territory in one day.
Yeah, the A team, B team.
Well, who would be on the A towns and the B towns? Because I mean, I could make the argument you could have Moxley on an A town and Jericho on a B town, or vice versa, on the same day, and
Yeah,
they would
well,
both.
they don't they wouldn't permanently be part of the you know same house show team every day, but you you switch it up. You give them 7 to 8 matches. You throw in some some highlights to really get them talking,
So
and
basically,
that's
just Dynamite.
I mean, it's an interest builder, especially if something important happens and it's not during a live event house show and it's not on television. I go back to the example of 1997 Madison Square Garden. What was it? Yeah, it was 97. I was at the house show where Savio Vega turned heel.
Okay.
And yeah, that's something you never saw happen at a house show ever.
What about the house
You
show
never.
where Kevin Nash won the world championship from Bob Backlund?
Well, again, that's one of the first. You never really saw story get pushed at house shows. AEW has a chance to actually not only reinvigorate what a house show is, but they could reinvent it if they place as much importance on it, at least some of them, as Dynamite or any of the name Dynamites. I expect these to be like any of the what's at air on TV to be like Saturday night, like a Saturday night's main event or a Clash of the Champions.
I mean, if they do it right, it would. Here's what I would do, because considering that everyone kind of wants to do the thing anyway, switch it up. Switch up the matches and the people in 3-month increments, so it feels fresh.
Interesting.
Because they have enough people on the roster to do that. They could switch it all up in 3-month increments. So, like, do a 3-month itinerary, right? Team A does this coast, Team B does this coast. Maybe you could get away with flip flopping it, but maybe you could do, like, a couple pieces here, a couple pieces there, flip flop it, go back on tour. So that way it's not like a stale thing.
See, usually what the WWE would do is they would both shows would be in the same state. They just be in different cities.
Well, what about? Okay, so if we're going on, live events here, I feel like at the West Coast, any AEW would be good AEW. People are gonna buy tickets for that. But where they are the East Coast, where they're heavily exposed and been giving Dynamite after Rampage after Dynamite, would an East Coast crowd go to a live event where they know that nothing is probably going to change?
Well,
Or
considering the
matches just
next
enough?
New York show is the for AEW is the first Dynamite after WrestleMania. April 5th.
Okay.
Yeah, they would go. They'd absolutely go. But then again, you have the Grand Slam reserved for Arthur Ashe Stadium. So unless they can get in to either the Hammerstein Ballroom or Madison Square Garden, I would expect them to stay away from New York City. Long Island, there are probably a bunch of other smaller venues AEW could take advantage of that the WWE would never think to anymore. Like, my God, the Manhattan Center.
Oh wow.
Was a tiny fucking place. Like 3 rows of like ringside seats, and the rest were bleachers, facing the TV camera. I mean, the wrestlers made their entrance. They took 2 steps in the ring already.
Kaliko, people buying a ticket just to see AEW, or do specific people need to be on these cards for them to sell?
I think the first year it would be just AEW because it's so rare that they go anywhere, right? I think this is better for those Midwest towns, because those flyover towns, because like you never seen AEW in a Memphis, Tennessee, which is a wrestling history. Goddamn, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or you see what I'm saying? Like a Memphis, Tennessee, a Little Rock, Arkansas, maybe even Detroit. They don't really go to Detroit.
Lubbock, Texas.
Lubbock, Texas. Yep. Lincoln, Nebraska. Denver, Colorado. Oklahoma City. You see what I'm saying? Like cities that got mad people, but they don't go there because they're always either in fucking Chicago, Florida, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, DC. Like the East Coast, it's on lock, but they need to venture into the Southeast, Atlanta, Charlotte, Indianapolis, Lexington, Phoenix, that's just off the top of my head that I know that it's Salt Lake City. You know what I'm saying? Like
Cedar Rapids.
Cedar Rapids, like those spots. Spots where people can drive to. Columbus. Cleveland. I mean, they've been to Cleveland. But...
At least we're not Detroit.
And it's a good test run, and I wasn't thinking of this before. It is a good test run. If they do well in those cities, we could bring Dynamite and Rampage there. And, we know, we'll kind of find out where are we hitting the mark, where is AEW doing well. Because it can't just be the East Coast where people watch AEW.
Well,
I mean, the
I think
shows here in Los Angeles on the West Coast did very well because we don't get them as often.
I think this would also kind of have to make Rampage 2 hours and they would have to do Rampage live. I think, they do. Let's say like, they do, and now we kind of have that way we kind of have a brand split, but we don't. But there are certain stories going on Dynamite, certain stories going on Rampage. So you could do a house show with Dynamite, wrestlers and their stories, and broadcast a live Rampage, and then do the same the following Wednesday with Dynamite and Rampage, and then do two house shows per team, so 4 house shows a week. Have them work on a Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday style, and have them get at least those 2 days off, and then a day off in between.
Alright. Well, I think we'll put a pin in this for the time being. I know a bit of news from the WWE side. We're getting the Cinnamon Toast Crunch match at WrestleMania.
Oh, by the way, I have a bottle of Pitch Black here.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, I can only find the 0 sugar version.
So basically, the match that we saw.
Well, I also found the Amp Energy version of Pitch Black. So
now we get the Cinnamon Toast Crunch match. Are you excited, Kaliko? At WrestleMania.
I mean, I eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That don't mean that I wanted a match, but it depends on who it is, because I don't know what the fuck. Because that sounds like some Johnny Knoxville type shit, some Fluffy shit. Fluffy's gonna be in the Cinnamon Toast Crunch match.
Well, I really think it should be a Rice Krispies match. I mean, would you listen to that? Snap, crackle, and pop.
Oh, that's too easy.
I mean...
Oh, did you know they changed the Cocoa Krispies mascot?
Oh, I mean, it has been Cocoa the Monkey.
Elephant. Yeah, it's an elephant now. What the fuck?
I didn't even realize they changed it to an elephant. I thought they just made it, snap, crackle, and fuck you! Yes, because my Rice Krispies say snap, crackle, go fuck yourself.
I mean, if they were going to do a serious sponsored match, it should have been just the Bootios when it was popping.
I mean, you get you do another match. you do a match between. God, let's see. You do a rematch between Goldberg and The Undertaker, and it's sponsored by All Brand.
Oh God.
The cereal for old people.
Thank you for even bringing up Goldberg versus Undertaker.
I'm trying to think of old people who really shouldn't be in a ring anymore and are probably not very regular.
What was the fight you?
I mean, wouldn't that be like the cream of wheat match?
I mean, if this was a couple of years ago, we could have said, "All right, when are we getting our Aunt Jemima versus Uncle Ben match?"
Who's what was it? And the wheat, cream of wheat, the guy that's on there.
He never had a name. He was just cream of wheat guy.
Yeah, he never had a name, homie.
You're
Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben.
No, that guy on the cream of wheat versus Uncle Howdy.
Or do you mean the Quaker Oats guy?
The Quaker Oats guy, thank you. The Quaker Oats guy versus Uncle Howdy.
Wait a minute. The Quaker Oats guy on the box or the dude that used to do the Quaker Oats commercial?
Or yeah, the dude that looks like George Washington.
Diabetes.
It'll be all the people.
I mean, we could just bring back, the KFC Colonel Rumble.
So we would have a match with Shawn Michaels and Reba McEntire in it.
And Ric Flair.
Oh,
remember,
God.
he won that one. And that's listed as an official Royal Rumble match.
Oh, God. Really?
Yep. Wikipedia wouldn't lie.
Depending on who's editing it. Oh, God. I just feel like Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul is going to be the Cinnamon Toast Crunch match. I don't know why, but I feel like that's the way we're heading.
No, I think we're headed towards Logan Paul Ricochet now.
From what I've seen on Raw and SmackDown as of late, it just seems like they're going Rollins Paul.
Maybe they'll do Rollins against the Allstate guy. AEW should actually do that. Get the Allstate guy, get Dennis Haysbert, and put him in a match with Jon Moxley because Moxley uses Wild Thing, and that was Rick Vaughn's thing in Major League.
I think this is a good place to conclude the news.
Everybody knows my name. It's Guy from Waiting to Exhale.
They got his car burnt. Yeah, I remember that.
And now, a quick word from our sponsors.
Mamas.
So,
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low-calorie, no-sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar-filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off-brands out there that are presenting low-quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high-quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
use promo code WRESTLINGWITHE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with WWE Royal Rumble. It was last Saturday. It took place in San Antonio, Texas, at the Alamo Dome. Attendance was 51,338. Was this the best Royal Rumble in the whole wide world? Probably not. I know a lot of people were shitting on it because, it was too predictable of who was going to win. People have been waiting for Cody Rhodes to win this match for 6 months, and he actually does it, and people are upset about it. Like, come on.
Well, nobody expected Sammy to actually come out looking like he could actually be the one who beats Roman. And the fact that we have Jay now mixed up in this is that Jay's story hasn't been Jay's story all along.
Right.
But we'll get to that.
We'll get into that. But overall, was it predictable? Yes. Was it bad predictable? No. I enjoyed the show. Again, it's not a Royal Rumble we'll be talking about for years to come, but
Yeah.
it was definitely
I mean,
a way to kill 4 hours.
I think the thing that people are upset most about is the fact that the winner was number 30 again. The fact that number 1 and 2 were in there at the end again. There's I think people they just want more of. They really want more of the random element. Yeah, to be apparent.
Well, what did you think of the show as a whole?
It was interesting. I'm really surprised they did the men's first. Kind of made everybody think, "Holy shit, Rock's showing up tonight." I mean, this has been their longest pay-per-view, I think, since WrestleMania 33. I mean, over 4 hours.
Hopefully, that's another trend that will continue. But what did you think of the show as a whole, Kaliko?
Where to start? Let me start with this. People complaining about the prediction. Stop reading dirt sheets. Simple as that. Like, there's a reason, you could choose to read it or not. I mean, did everyone know in New Orleans knowing Daniel Bryan was winning the title take away the joy of Daniel Bryan winning the title? Right? Like,
yeah.
To me, you can know the outcome, but I care more about how you get to the outcome. Now, how we got to the outcome is different because Cody coming in at 30, I get it, injury, don't want to fuck it up, got it. But some seeds that were planted in that Rumble was really, really good. Like, they could go several different ways that I seen, right? And plus, they went the male first because Brock don't get paid by the hour. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
but Lashley get eliminated by Lesnar, and that look on his face alone, being a meme, is just enough, right? The show, to me, it got me invested. It got me invested in the Mania because everything went the way it was supposed to go. That's the whole point. Like, you don't really want to swerve it. You just care about how they got there, right? Cody got there by being 30, fine. Gunther had a hell of a performance, which to me, okay, that's awesome. Rollins is in a little shuffle trying to figure out what he's going to do with Mania. That's fine. He could go Logan Paul. Logan Paul could go with Ricochet. Austin Theory still needs a fucking opponent because he's yelling the champ is here. It set up different roadmaps that they could go with, right? The women's match was probably that was the most surprising. Everyone probably thought Rhea was going to win, but they didn't think she was going to win from one, right? Like, and the fact that it was mostly like, the one thing I liked about it is it didn't depend on nostalgia. It actually got people who were supposed to be in the Rumble, and they served a purpose, right? With the exception of maybe like a Corbin or whatever the case may be, right? That's what I liked about the Rumble. Everyone had a reason to be in it, and it wasn't just like cheap pop of Jeff Jarrett. No shade, Jeff Jarrett. So to me, it got me hooked and got me ready for it because it's like, okay, now we're gonna see how the card really builds. Because keep in mind, after the Chamber, there's no more pay per views, so it's just straight story mode.
Right.
So that, which is a big difference, which is what we've been clamoring for in the first place, because we felt Fastlane was kind of like a pseudo predictor of Mania.
Right.
I mean, but yeah, considering that, yeah, the Chamber matches really only affect one WrestleMania match now, and then that's who Bianca's facing. It. I mean, there's really not a reason to watch Elimination Chamber. If you really think about it. Oh, great, they're doing an Elimination Chamber for the U.S. title. Whoop-dee. Why should I care?
Because Sami Zayn is wrestling Roman on that show, and you
Yeah,
want to see
yes,
the next.
yes.
You want to see the next, arc of the storyline.
Yes, but the event is called Elimination Chamber.
Okay.
You don't have a Royal Rumble and say, oh, the winner gets to shot the Intercontinental title.
Well, that's what Austin Theory said with the Money in the Bank this year.
Because nobody would buy him actually stealing both titles from Roman. They wouldn't be sure which title he would challenge for.
Alright, well, let's get into it. Cody Rhodes won the men's Royal Rumble match in a 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 42 seconds. Personally, not the most, all-inspiring Royal Rumble match. But I don't feel like the last 2-3 years of the Royal Rumble has been all that, memorable. The Royal Rumble match itself being memorable, but the matches under the card have been. Like Kaliko said, it serves its purpose. We've been reporting that Cody Rhodes was going to win this match since June. So yeah, at the end of the day, I was satisfied with the outcome. Scooter?
Yeah, it was it was a satisfying outcome. I will say this: I kind of went, "Oh shit!" when Edge's music hit.
True.
Because I'm thinking, "Oh great," but I mean, all the previous Royal Rumble winners in this match really got kind of done dirty. Except for maybe Sheamus.
In what way?
Meaning they spent less time reminding everybody why they're former Royal Rumble winners. Yeah, Brock eliminates 3 people, but he also gets thrown out in 3 minutes.
He's not paid by the hour, Scooter.
No, he's not paid by the minute either.
Yeah, he's paid. He's paid for just being there. He gets perfect attendance.
I mean, I kind of having Lashley come out right after Brock. It's a a bit too on the nose. I mean, I would have loved, I mean, how much Brock Gunther did we get? Like a minute or
30
so?
seconds?
A couple of like one or two suplexes. I
mean, yeah, I get your point. I see it.
But I see the logic in picking who was the final person in the ring with Cody. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Gunther, the former Walter, Cody wanted him to be one of his opponents on the Nightmare Tour.
I don't remember.
And because Walter was, as that was happening, Walter was becoming more part of Evolve, and then, part of NXT UK, it just, kind of didn't happen. It's also the Alamo Dome, so they're trying to top, their previous, Rumbles at the Alamo Dome. Keep in mind, it's the fourth Rumble in San Antonio, but only the third in the Alamo Dome, because I believe 2017 was in the AT&T Center.
No, that was
Or was it 2007?
probably 2007.
It was 2000. No, but yeah, the Undertaker winning Undertaker Shawn Michaels. That was not the Alamo Dome. That was the AT&T Center.
Yeah. What say you, Kaliko? What was your thoughts on this match?
Personally, I like the order. I like the order it came. Because you want to know why? Because it built on top of each other, right? Like Lesnar coming out, and it was like, I think the order was, correct me if I'm wrong. That order, when it was Braun, Lesnar, Lashley, then Dominic, it was like a little crescendo. It was like a physical, like, Walter started off, made it physical, and then every person, with the exception of maybe one or two, just made it way more physical. And you just knew it was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. It was like, somebody about to get yoked. So somebody got to get their ass beat, right? It was like a gang of people, and it was like, who gonna be the one to get their ass whooped right around here, right? Especially when Lashley and Lesnar came up, because they're back kind of like, okay. Then he gets eliminated, and it's like, oh shit. Sheamus and McIntyre were in there a long fucking time.
Yes.
See, McIntyre is the only Royal Rumble winner who didn't get done that dirty.
By the way, 2017 was the Alamo Dome. 2007 was the AT&T Center. Also.
Oh yeah, 2017 was the Alamo Dome, because remember they had the scooter that he used to like ride. They had the scooter he used to ride out. The order was good. The people that needed to shine got shine, like Dominic Mysterio, because I think this gave him a little bit of credibility, in the sense that he could hang, right? That's what I'm saying. It gave him the credibility it could hang, and considering that he was the last member of Judgment Day to be eliminated,
Right.
so build up could possibly. I'm trying to think of who else. People that had a good outing. Logan Paul. I mean, for him, it's impressive. Although I think that Ricochet spot was a monkey spot, but everything else kind of did what it was supposed to do. Like I said, everything was meant. Everything fitted for its purpose in that match. It wasn't an elimination that happened where you was like, well, what the fuck was that for, right?
What?
Like, you see what I'm saying? So that's why I think it was a good Royal Rumble because the elimination, who got eliminated by whom made sense.
Here's any just big statistic. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5 of the final. 5 of the 8 superstars that got more than one elimination were former Royal Rumble winners. Gunther and Cody both had 5.
Well, Kaliko mentioned, the Logan Paul Ricochet spot, which I thought was one of the highlights of the match. Personally, I liked it. And people saying Cody was a predictable win, obviously. But who else was going to win the match? And if they won the match, wouldn't you have said, "What the fuck, Cody didn't win," right?
Well, that's why we're fickle. We're fickle. We'll get pissed at something being too predictable, and then when it doesn't happen, we'll be pissed that it didn't happen.
Scudo, how many stars do you give the match?
I will give it. I'll give it 4, only because on NXT last Tuesday, Vic says to Booker, "Okay, Booker, what number did you draw?" And Booker plays it off like, "Nah, man, I'm not in the match." And then, Soka!
Alright, Kaliko, how many stars do you give the match?
I agree. It's a 4. It's a solid 4. It did what it's supposed to do. Served its purpose. Everything had a rhyme and reason with it. It wasn't helter skelter. It was literally textbook, and you can't get mad at something that's supposed to happen.
I give it a 3. Like everybody else said, what happened was supposed to happen, and it worked. But not everything that happened was as memorable as maybe it should have been. Or at least maybe the participants were. Alright, that brings us to our next match. The Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. Bray Wyatt defeated LA Knight in 5 minutes and 5 seconds. And there was an appearance by Uncle Howdy. Yeah. Yeah. First time match. You don't really know what to expect.
I mean, I swear to God, I hope people wash their hands who are sitting, because hey, they got that luminol out. If you got, blood or semen on your hands, you're fucked. By the way, Bray Wyatt was not covered in any sort of paint.
It was a mask.
No, I mean, you're ruining the joke, James.
Oh, okay. That's a semen joke. Okay, cool.
I would have looked like a Jackson Pollock painting. I'm surprised. I'm surprised Ellie Knight looks so clean.
Alright, honestly, not knowing what to expect of this match, so not having big expectations, I actually really enjoyed this match. It was kind of like neon bowling, but with wrestling. And
I used to play dark light pool at my local pool hall. They had one table downstairs set up for blacklight billiards, and that's what this was.
honestly, I got it all. I got for a company that's literally done everything in WWE. I've never seen this before, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't too long either. It did what it needed to do. But what's it?
What? But one, that's kind of been a little bit of a tendency with Bray Wyatt and Royal Rumble matches. But for a fact that this was a match that was sponsored, I'm really surprised there was no Mountain Dew used in this match.
But that would have just been tacky.
I mean, tacky as Cody taking a sip at the press conference and saying, "It's fantastic. It's the first time I've had sugar in 3 months."
No, that's just being good to your sponsors.
I mean, God, it's not like they have other flavors. Hold on, let me take a sip of my Mountain Dew Major Melon.
I mean, did you want Bray Wyatt to have a Mountain Dew pitch black tattooed on his ass?
No, I wanted two of the women to compete in the first ever Mountain Dew Major Melons match.
I feel like that's something they do on AEW.
No, I feel that's something Harvey Weinstein does. And we're canceled.
Please send your hate tweets to @ScooterDust.
JJ993.
Anything that he says on this show does not
is approved by
reflect the
James.
views of Wrestling with Entertainment.
Is approved by Wrestling with Entertainment. Thank you.
So you wanted them to shower each other in Mountain Dew, be like a
I'm
kiddie
just
pool.
I'm surprised Bray didn't pour it on himself and do like a in like the 1989 Batman where Vicky Vale throws water in the Joker's face. He goes, it burns! He just looks at it and just laughs.
Yes.
The question is, okay, we had where I mean, where is I guess if we have Uncle Howdy, do we have Auntie Goodbye? Or
Did you say Howdy?
like Howdy Piper?
I think that's Ronda Rousey. What say you, Kaliko? What was your thoughts on the match?
Highlight of the night, finding out that the green guy's shirt glows.
So you think much of it is what I'm gathering.
I was like, wait a minute, his shirt's glowing? Like, what the fuck?
I mean, also, who do you think was Howdy here?
Wasn't it Bo Dallas?
I mean, I don't remember Bo Dallas ever doing a spot like that.
I mean, unless Bo Dallas got some real estate to sell you, then yeah.
I'm not entirely sure if it's true or not, or if it was just a shit post or whatever. People did see Jeff Hardy coming into Texas that day.
I doubt that was Jeff Hardy. I still think it's Cameron Grimes.
I mean, it looked like some shit he would do, but no.
And considering Cameron Grimes was trained by the Hardys.
Oh, that's true. But when you hear Howdy's laugh, You could make a connection between the Bo Dallas laugh and the Howdy laugh. And I think that's one of the reasons he does that laugh.
Ooh, howdy, howdy, howdy.
So you saying you just need to believe that it's Bo?
I need to believe that it's Bo.
Believe me the hell alone.
What was that one time in NXT? He gave us cookies. And we ate the cookies. Mrs. Fields will sponsor a match going forward.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Alright, Scooter, how many stars do you give this match? This match was sponsored by Mountain Dew Pitch Black. Dew to do in Pitch Black.
This rating is sponsored by my middle finger. 1.
Oh, 1 star.
1 star.
Kaliko, how many stars do you give this?
2, just because the green guy's shirt glowed. I was like, damn, I didn't know it. It served a purpose. I mean, he got all those free tickets, so at least he got something.
I like the match. I give it 3.5. That brings us to our next match. Bianca Belair defeated Alexa Bliss for the WWE Raw Women's Championship in 7 minutes and 35 seconds. To say this match had no place on the card is an understatement. It was just your generic match that didn't do anything for either goal. It could have been on this card. It could have not. I don't think people would have cared one way or the other. Scooter, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it really could have been a lot better, but they really cut a lot. It seems like they cut a lot of time from the actual matches for actual story, which is not a bad thing.
Would you say that the tribal court just went too long, that they had to cut this match short? Or was this WWE's way of saying, hey Nikki and Brie Bella, fuck you? Kaliko, what did you think about the match?
Alexa, I mean, it just served a purpose to bring Alexa home. That's basically what it did. One step closer to coming home. The question is though, who the fuck is Bianca's gonna face? Because
the last 4 women eliminated from the Rumble are in the Chamber match, along with Natalya and another competitor to be decided.
Well, not Natalya. Okay.
So that leaves us 4 people.
So just the 4 people, which was Asuka, Liv.
Oh, for some reason, I really thought Asuka was doing a Great Muta tribute until people started saying, "Oh, she's back to being Kana."
Oh yeah.
Like, ah, and there's a little bit of there's a story element in this match that I'm kind of a little peeved with.
Bianca and
No. Oh God, no. Oh no. I'm talking. No, never mind. I'm skipping ahead. I'm a dingus. I'm thinking about the because we
The
started
Royal
talking.
Rumble.
Yeah, we started talking about who's Bianca's opponent. But no, this is my comment is for the women's Royal Rumble match. So
Alright, let's
I'll see.
get past this Bianca match, which served no purpose.
Uh,
I give it 2 stars, and I'm being generous with that. Scooter,
Mhm.
how many stars?
I will also give it 2.
Kaliko.
2, because it didn't serve a purpose. No story to it. So.
Alright, that brings us to our next match. Rhea Ripley won the 30 Women Royal Rumble in 1 hour, 1 minute, and 3 seconds. When the only reason I knew Rhea Ripley was actually going to win this match was something that Kaliko has been saying for the last 3-4 years of the trend of whoever wins the men's Royal Rumble translates to who wins the women. Whether it was Becky and Seth, Nakamura and Asuka, or Ronda and Lesnar.
What's the
But
connection between Cody and Rhea then?
number 30, number
Redemption.
1.
Redemption.
Yeah, but
Redemption in 31, but it's redemption because Rhea's going after Charlotte for redemption. Cody's going for Roman to get the belt for redemption for the family. Redemption is the theme. Gotcha.
Now, but I will say that I did call Rhea to win this match. She was my first pick. And honestly, I preferred the women's Royal Rumble match to the men. I thought the people that were in it made sense. I thought what they did went went on well, and I just enjoyed it a little bit more than the men. But what say you, Scooter?
I liked it. Um, you know what? Unfortunately, we can't say about Rhea Ripley in this victory. She wasn't any longer than Rey Mysterio.
She wasn't?
No,
Yeah,
Ray
no.
was 62 minutes and 12 seconds.
That's right. Her future father-in-law?
The mommy for dummy. A lot of my NXT picks calls were there. Chelsea Green was someone we really knew was probably going to be in it. I didn't realize she was going to get bushwhacker butched. Just bushwhacked. I mean, the fact that Michelle McCool was revealed and she didn't even realize it.
She wrestled in Uggs. The boots.
But to me, that's the obvious indicator that she's going into the Hall of Fame.
Is it?
I think it is. Yeah, I think she is the primary, female marquee name for the Hall of Fame. And of course, the return. The fact that somebody in production botched Nia Jax's entrance. I mean, that's like, I don't know if that was like a happy accident or just clever foreshadowing. Like, I'm surprised, like, I'm surprised there wasn't a spot where she fell and said, "Bye ho!"
Oh, well, they would have had to brought Lana back for that.
Uh, um, the fact that uh, the fact that Dew dropped off the earth.
And she's a Niven again.
Wait, hold on. I'm trying to remember the thing I was going to say. Yes. Liv Morgan, Asuka, Nikki Cross, Raquel Rodriguez are in the Elimination Chamber match along with Natalia. I think the last person in that is going to be I believe it's going to be Piper. And the main problem I had was the ending of the match. Asuka, Rhea, Liv, they're on the apron. Hey, do you remember what Liv Morgan used to show us before every match?
I don't think we could talk about it before getting canceled.
I'm talking about, of course, and the question I would ask, like, which Smurf did she blow this time? Because she always had a blue tongue. The fact that Liv got a face full of blue mist and wasn't immune to it, kind of took me out of it. I'm like, ah, but nobody realized that Rhea took Asuka out with a 619.
Oh, that's right.
And technically, also, technically, Rey Mysterio is still in the men's rumble. Technically, with that move, Rhea got back in the ring. And then back out to the apron to the middle rope when you think about it.
If her foot hit the mat while she was inside the ring, that would make sense. But I don't think her feet ever touched.
It did.
Okay.
One at least did. I'm not a fan of the. I'm not a fan of the skin the cat elimination. Especially from the apron, and that would have made sense for Liv.
I mean, her feet don't reach that far.
I know that's the point, but that doesn't make sense for Rhea. I mean, is it the fact like, okay, we're supposed to believe she has really strong legs? Is it a metaphor for her grip on Dom? It's like, number one again. They're really trying to kill the statistics.
I mean, it's not like they showed the statistics anymore.
Yeah. Which probably should have been our first clue.
Yeah. Alright, Kaliko, your thoughts on the match?
Actually, I agree. It was pretty enjoyable. I will say that. Is it memorable though? That's the question. So to me, Rhea winning made sense because who she picked, and that's why I told you there's a theme with these things. It's this year's theme was comeback. So it's comeback and redemption. She wants to come back for Charlotte because think about it, she had lost her way ever since she lost to Charlotte.
Right, and this is probably the
And
best version of Rhea we've seen in a WWE ring.
exactly. And then Cody lost his way since he got fired. So so he's back. So that's it. So but back to the women's match. It was enjoyable one. I will say it was more enjoyable than the men's. That for sure to me. Because it was the fact that the surprises they had made sense, and then when Nia came in, which we all know I like Nia, but Nia came in, they all just like get this bitch out. I think I don't know if that was like
That is my bae.
I mean it was like get this hoe out of here. Raquel had a good showing. Roxanne had a good showing. No, no Gigi.
Obviously, she didn't do what she could have done for that pair of shoes.
I sucked dick for a number in the Rumble.
Yeah, I guess you should have got 30 if that was the case. But but yeah, yeah, pretty enjoyable. I will say that it was a good one. It's solid. The right person won because of who she picked, and plus we didn't think who would have had to been a credible winner, right? Like that's the other part of it. Like it's only a handful of like I say it was Rhea's and maybe that's it. Rhea and Bailey.
Yeah.
Bailey was my
that
pick.
hasn't won it yet.
Bailey was my pick to win.
Because the only reason it makes sense for Bailey to win is Bailey went for Bianca. But I think Bailey is gonna be in the.
Well,
I think she's gonna go to the chamber and fight Bianca at Mania.
no. I wouldn't be surprised if they did Bailey and Logan Paul against Seth and Becky.
Oh God, no. No? No.
Because I mean, we had Becky and Bailey in a cage. But what does it makes no sense for Becky or Bailey to be Bianca's opponent because Becky doesn't really cut it. Becky doesn't need that redemption.
No, she doesn't.
Bailey in terms of story, it doesn't make any sense for her to be that redemption.
Oh no, redemption and comeback was just the theme for the Royal Rumble winners. Not for the whole goddamn.
I think it's most likely going to be Asuka and Bianca.
I mean,
unless they do, somehow Ronda gets in, and it's Ronda and Bianca.
I'm just letting you know if Asuka is facing Bianca, Bianca's done.
Here's the thing though.
Asuka is somebody that hasn't won the main event of WrestleMania, so I mean she's looking for some type of redemption as well.
Here's the thing though. We know that, you know, we're assuming that, you know, what's happening with Uncle Howdy and Alexa is because of Bray. What if it's because of Asuka?
You know, I mean they was tag team partners, so that would make sense.
Yeah, that's the conclusion I'm drawing here.
Well, I mean, no, this is a hot take, 100%. You got a story with possibly Alexa and Asuka. You have to have something pertaining to Becky at Mania. You can't just leave her off the card. You have Rhea and Charlotte.
See, here's
hold on. Do you need Bianca Belair to defend her title at WrestleMania?
she's going to.
I mean, matches have been cut before.
Yeah, except the Elimination Chamber match
She
has been
better.
announced. The Elimination Chamber match has been announced. The winner will face Bianca.
Yeah, so she better. Because now she's Black Charlotte Flair.
So you're saying that her title, even if she doesn't have a significant opponent, means more than maybe a quality story with maybe an Alexa Bliss and an Asuka.
I mean, I could even see it being Asuka and Alexa.
Triple threat?
Yeah, I could see maybe Alexa does something to Asuka before the Chamber. But then again, then we get a winner, and the other, since Charlotte and Rhea, Roman and Cody are being based so much on story, then I would think they would do Raquel and Bianca just based on the match they could have and the history that's there.
Is there any history though? Other than Rhea and Raquel are buddies, I know.
Yeah, do you remember when, let's see, Rhea became, SmackDown Women's Champion, Bianca became Raw Women's Champion, and Raquel became NXT Women's Champion in the same weekend. They were all on NXT the following Tuesday.
Oh yeah, their own little champions curtain call, the next generation curtain call.
Yeah, okay. Alright.
That's right. They did.
Interesting.
But I mean, if that was the case, they would have just hot shotted Raquel straight to it.
I mean, they
I would say.
But they just also got done sacrificing Raquel to Ronda in order to build Charlotte.
True.
So that also kind of makes sense.
So Scooter, how many stars do you give the Women's Royal Rumble?
I'm looking 4.5.
Kaliko?
Yeah, 4.5. Really good. I ain't gonna lie, really good. Great sequences too. Although my baby Naya, oh man, Naya and Emma and fucking it was fucking five because just the people who was in it, Naya, Emma, fucking Oscar. It was my dream pretty much.
Was you one of those people camping out at the local pizza parlor to get access to Nia Jax's OnlyFans?
I don't have to do all that. I could just drive up the street to Carlsbad, homie.
I give it 4.5 as well.
Carlsbad's Cavern is my nickname for Nia's. Never mind.
Next match, WWE Universal Undisputed Championship match. Roman Reigns defeated Kevin Owens in 19 minutes and 15 seconds. The match was predictable, so it wasn't easy to invest in the match because you knew what was going to happen. I think everybody was waiting for the aftermath anyway, which was, the inevitable Sami Zayn turning on the Bloodline turning on Sami Zayn, Jay leaving the ring, considering he was the one that hated Sami the most and took it the hardest. Everything after the match, honestly, I felt was great shit. Scooter, your thoughts?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Some of the best storytelling that WWE's done in quite some time. I mean, considering that the three combined the three non-Rumble matches on this on the card had a combined just a little over 30 minutes for the for the singles matches.
I mean, we were given a special performance by Hardy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, so your reports are wrong. They didn't see Jeff Hardy coming to San Antonio. They saw Hardy.
It could be
Jeff Howdy, ladies and gentlemen.
Jeff Hardy. Yeah.
This really is becoming a habit. Somebody who you never think really is going to be in the title picture. Suddenly, the fans are behind them, and we're like, you know what? I think we might want to see this match more. But then you take even more, rather you put even more into it by having the only man in the bloodline who was against Sami being a part of it being the one who attempts to redeem him. God damn it. And now the question becomes, was this just a long gap in the story of Jey Uso?
How so?
I mean, why are you going to have one half of your longest reigning tag team champions just peace out? it's like, okay, how do you expect the Jimmy and Jay to be an effective tag team now? Especially when we really thought that it would be Sammy and KO against the Usos at Mania. I mean, unless they're pulling a Daniel Garcia.
Oh, a Swerve.
And Jay decides to, rededicate himself to the bloodline, at which point goodbye any further potential for a singles career. Because I'm getting the sense that Jay wants to be around more than Jimmy does. And if there's going to be a breakout single star from the bloodline that's actually blood, then it clearly has to be Jay.
I think he proved that in his first rivalry with Roman, when he made him acknowledge him at the beginning of all this.
Well, let's reverse it. Jay wasn't really acknowledged by choice. It was acknowledged by force, if you remember, right?
Right.
Because keep in mind, the Hell in a Cell match, he just lost and ended up just having to be there because Alpha and Sika came out and was like, yeah, time to follow this guy. It wasn't because of, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think Jay, because remember, Jimmy came back and was like, fuck it all. Jay was just telling him, hey man, let's not cause no trouble because, families at this and da 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 da. He never said, I wanted to. But then when he saw the success got to him. But I also could think of this. When Sammy's getting beat, he sees himself in Sammy.
Ooh, okay.
Because remember,
the same
he
thing
got
happened
beat
to him.
and exactly. So now you see yourself in somebody who you despised, and then all of a sudden you go to bat for him. It breaks a man. And before we get to that storyline, I need to talk about that match because fucking that match was just brutal, bro. When you remember when Jay and Roman first fought, and I said it was about an ass whooping, it wasn't about the match.
Right.
That's what that felt like. And when Roman threw KO's head through the back of them steps, I
Yeah.
was like, I damn near cut it off. I was like, bro, because I could feel my head hurting from that. Like, I was like, bro, like, it's one of those things where you can see yourself happening to you. You like, oh shit, no.
Yeah, it was definitely a brutal match.
So the match itself wasn't about the title. It was about proving a point. And that was Roman's point of proving a point, remember? And every time he tried, the first time he tried to prove a point, he proved his point. But it was only because family got into it and he was ruthless. This time his arrogance got the best of him. And now Sammy's up the bat. Now the question is, what's going to happen with Jimmy? That just because he left doesn't mean that they have to function as a tag team. He could drop the titles because keep in mind we did have a storyline in NXT in which they only had one person representing both tag titles.
Well, no, I think it kind of becomes the freeboard rule in some sense, where maybe Solo could take over for Jay.
Or what if Jay decides he wants a different tag team partner?
Oh, but I kind of feel like if your name isn't Uso, then maybe you shouldn't be
I mean,
considered.
but considering that Sammy and Jimmy?
Sammy and Jay teamed up.
Oh my God! Wow.
The Usos had a tag team title defense. Jimmy, it was the night of the night following Tribal Court. It was last week, and
Yeah, Jay and Sammy. Remember they did the 3D and everything.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
because I think that was the last place Jay was expecting to actually have to actually find any belief in Sammy. So, with Jay and Sammy against Jimmy and Solo. And now we finally get, Josh Uso.
Josh
Or
Uso?
John Uso. Another J name. So they can still be the Usos. The Usos, wrestling an Uso.
Villanucci.
Feeling doofy.
So three Usos and a Solo.
Yeah.
I hear Ted Danson will star.
Think he should. Alright, like I said, great shit. How many stars do you give the match, Scooter?
I will give it 4 for wrestling. I will give it 5 for storytelling.
I give the match itself 3 stars. You know what? 4 stars. I give the match itself 4 stars. I give the storyline afterwards 5.
I mean, you gotta remember, when's the last time the WWE devoted this much time on a major 4 pay-per-view, by the way, to storytelling that actually wasn't surrounding somebody returning?
True. Kaliko?
4.5 just for always taking those 2 bumps. 5 for the story.
Alright. Think that will oh, actually, the show overall, how many stars, no, not how many stars. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, Scooter. The Royal Rumble, as a whole.
Thumbs 3/4 up.
Orange Cassidy thumb.
Yeah.
Lazy thumb.
The thumb is at 10:30.
Kaliko?
I give a thumbs up. It got me invested. Afterwards, I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta make sure I got my tickets." So, thumbs up.
I give it Orange Cassidy thumbs up as well. Alright, that will conclude include this coverage of the Royal Rumble in this episode as a whole. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this Tuesday as we interview Claudia Solis, and this Wednesday as we interview Cody Wayne. If you want to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Wrestling with E for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. You can follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Kaliko?
You can find me trying to run away as a slave because it's my wife's birthday weekend and she out here got me slaving. I'm Kaliko.
And where can we
See?
find Scooter?
As always, find me on Twitter at ScooterDust. The future of the remix is currently up in the air. Stay tuned to my Twitter feed for any further and upcoming announcements. And of course, revel in all my Twitch antics as my Dungeons and Dragons campaign is starting to come to a very thrilling conclusion. I've been getting a major push over there. Join me along with Rico Constantino Jr. and the rest of the Smoking Dragons clan. Twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons. Also, I can announce this. I have signed on for not just one, but 2 future upcoming Dungeons and Dragons streams.
Alright. For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J. And this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Chicago! Shish kebab! Shish prediction! Chicago! Yeah! Out there!
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.